Hello everyone and welcome to ISpeakSpokeSpoken.com. My name is Dan and today we're looking at the present perfect. We're looking at present perfect simple and present perfect continuous. We're going to look at each one individually, we're going to compare, and I'm going to show you some examples. Now, it doesn't have to be something that you find difficult to get your head around, because actually it's just something that happens before the present. As with perfect always, we use this word to say before something. So present perfect before the present, past perfect before the past, future perfect before the future. Okay, so remember, anything we do today you can get on the I above. If you're on a mobile or tablet, you can get it from the link in the description. You can take a test and you can go through the slides one more time. So let's get started. Present perfect simple, we use it to express actions and situations that have connection to the present. This is the key here, connection to the present. Something that happens in the past that is connected to now. Focus is on the result of the action, so what's happening in the present, rather than what happened, when it happened, or how it happened, okay? So, the way we formulate it is using this auxiliary verb. So have or has if it's in the third person, and then we put the past participle on the end of the third verb, okay? So, I eat, I ate, I have eaten, to have eaten, this third verb. Okay, let's have a look at some examples just to give you a feel for how it works, and we can look at the language. The first one we have here is I have finished my homework. Okay, just pronunciation wise, O, homework. And we start here with the strength, homework. Finished. This is quite difficult actually, it's not finished. We don't say ed on the end here, we say finished. Finished. Okay, so I have finished my homework. So in the context of present perfect, what does this mean? Well, actually it means that at this present time, my homework is done. It's finished. We're not saying when, we're not saying how, we're not saying how long. We're just saying that in the past, I finished my homework, so now it's important because it's done now, okay? So it's always important. We can say, I finished my homework, but it has nothing to do with now. That would be the simple form. This perfect form means that because this is done, now is something's changed. The situation is different. The homework is finished, okay? Excellent. We can see a little bit with the next one as well. So she has visited Paris. Okay, I'm going to pick up on the ah sound here, so Paris, okay? It's this ah sound, it's quite a strong ah. She has visited, okay? Visited, that's where we put the strength on the first part of the word. She has visited Paris. Now, in this sense, you can see that because we're talking about she, third person, we've got has, so he, she, it, has. I have, you have, they have, okay? So, she has visited Paris. What does that mean in the context of the present perfect? Well, it means that now she's different because she has the knowledge and experience now of Paris in the past. So, she knows more. She understands more about Paris. She is different now because of her visit to Paris. So, she has visited. She has learnt, she has changed, she has this experience in the moment, okay? I know sometimes people find it difficult to imagine why this is important, but just think about it in context with the simple, when it's just a fact. She visited Paris in the past, on Tuesday, last week. She has visited Paris. It means that she now, in this moment, is slightly different, is more experienced, okay? Right. So, just have a look at how we use it. We use it for which situations? You can refer back to these. So, describe experiences up to now without specifying when they occurred. Okay, this is something we mentioned before. Indicate a change or a new situation. I have got a new job, for example. Okay, and then talk about completed actions with present relevance. Okay, like this, I have finished my homework. All right. So, with that in mind, let's have a look at a few more examples. So, I have lived in London. I have lived in London. So the experience is what matters here, not the time. So I have lived in London. It happened in my past and it's important now, okay? So we're not talking about how long, we're not talking about when. We might do, it might be mentioned, but actually it's not important in this sentence. What's important is that I had the experience in the past. I have lived in London. Okay, so he has broken his leg. So the result is a broken leg. Now, have a look at the form. I know in some languages you might say the leg, but in this case it's his leg. It belongs to him. Okay, so his leg. So he has broken his leg. The result in the moment is a broken leg. It's broken right now. It's relevant now as his leg is still broken. So he broke it in the past and it's still broken now. Okay, it has consequences in the present time. So you break your leg last week, or you broke your leg last week, okay? And now it's still broken, okay? So I'm using this present perfect without even trying. So it is broken is a kind of present perfect form as well. So just remember that there are kind of two main uses, and in each you can see the similarities. There's this past event that's very relevant now, okay? So let's have a look at the present perfect continuous, because it's quite similar. Quite similar in its meaning and its usage. There are a few differences, but the main difference being the fact we use continuous and the fact that we also use a slightly different form. We have the verb to be there as an auxiliary. So let's have a look. So in the present perfect continuous, it focuses on the duration. Okay, the continuity of an action that began in the past and is still happening now. Now this is kind of important to remember, or has finished. So it's often with visible results, okay? So we form this tense in the following way. We use have been or has been, and then we follow with the gerund verb, so the continuous form of the verb. Okay, so it's very simple to put together. But just remember that the have been and has been is actually using to be as an auxiliary, like we mentioned quickly before. Okay, so let's look at the examples. They have been watching a movie. All right. Now, remember what I was saying about something here, about beginning in the past, still happening now, or just finished. So they have been watching a movie. So it started in the past and it went up until now, or it went up until just before now. And actually, it's the reason for why they are either not here, or they're late, or they're tired. There's something in the present that is demanding the use of the form. Okay, something is here with us that means that we have to use it. Does that make sense? I'm trying to make it understandable in the fact that you've got this thing now, which is the reason why we need the form. You know, maybe they are tired, or maybe they are happy, or maybe they've had fun in the movie and they've enjoyed it. So they're slightly different now, and they're different now because they have been watching the movie. They're late because they have been watching the movie. Okay, they're full of popcorn because they have been watching a movie. All right, so you see, there's something now that demands the use. Okay, excellent. Movie. Just remember, this is the oo sound. Movie. Okay, we have been working all day. Again, we can show you why we use this. So we have been working all day. This is why we're tired. This is why we haven't been answering our phone during the day. So there's some reason now why we need to use the form. So we're tired, we have been working all day. We've just got home and we would like to sit down and relax because we have been working all day. Okay, so this is happening from the past up until recently. And now we have a change because of it. That's why we use it. All right. I hope this is clear. I hope I'm trying to give you as much as possible that you might not get from other places, because I know sometimes when people give you these examples, they kind of don't always give you the feeling of it. And English is all about feeling and following exactly how you know what to say because of how you feel and the different situations. So if you feel it is relevant, you use the form. All right, good. Let's look at the next slide. So the usage of this present perfect continuous is for the following reasons, like we've just kind of mentioned. Show that an action started in the past has continued up until now, like we were talking about before. Emphasize the duration of an action, okay? So I have been working all day, all right? Describe actions that have just stopped and have a present result, okay? So he has been running. That's why he's out of breath, okay? He has been running, all right? So the present result is the out of breathness, okay? But actually this happens kind of with all. I mean, there is always a present result. That's why we use it. So examples of this, let's have a look. So she has been studying English for 3 years. The action is ongoing, all right? So she has been studying English for 3 years. Now, that doesn't tell us that she stopped. So it just tells us that she started in the past and she's been going up until now. So she has been studying for 3 years. Like it says, it's ongoing. We have no evidence to say it stopped. As far as we know, continues, okay? You have been running, I can tell, because you're out of breath, like the example we gave just now. The action has just stopped, but the result is visible, all right? So can you see what I told you a few minutes ago starting to become clear? That there's always a reason for why we use it. We always have a need. When we use the correct form, that need is fixed, all right? So how do we distinguish between the two? How do we distinguish between using the simple and continuous? Well, it's actually quite simple. You just need to make a decision. You need to decide if you are talking or you're interested in talking about the completed result of the action, or are you actually interested in describing the process and duration? Okay? If it's about completion and result, then you use simple. If it's about the process and duration, then you use continuous. Easy, right? Okay, you will get it, don't worry. So let's have a look at the next part. So, result versus duration then. So let's have a look at how you make this decision, because it's easy to say, but is it easy to do? Well, actually, you can see it actually is. So for example, use the present perfect simple for a result. So he has painted the room. He has painted the room. The room is a different color because in the past he has painted it. Okay, he has painted the room. It's finished now, right? And you can see the result. Okay, so to use the present perfect continuous for the duration, he has been painting the room for hours or all day, like we spoke about working. So he started in the past and the duration has been hours, and he's still painting, maybe. And actually, maybe he's still painting, or maybe he's finished recently, but you know, we don't know this at this point. So can you see why you choose which one? And it's actually dependent on what you want to say. If you want to say, if you want to emphasize the duration, then you use this continuous form. But if you just want to emphasize the fact that it's done and there's a result, then use the simple. Simple, right? Okay, let's have a look at state verbs, okay? So remember the state verbs like, know, believe, belong. These are very important ones that you have to kind of remember in conjunction with this. They are not usually used in continuous form. So the correct form, or the correct way to use known, for example, is I have known him for years. So I have known him for years. This is the correct way. Actually, incorrect is to say I have been knowing him. You can't say it that way. It doesn't even feel right. You might hear it. You might hear people in colloquial language might use, oh, I'm loving this, or I'm really liking that, but it's not correct. You can use it if you're with your friends, or you're with a group of people that are speaking in a colloquial way, but don't write this, and don't use it in a formal setting for sure. Okay, so remember, like lots of things, rules in English can be broken if you know the rule, okay? If you know the rule and you want to break it for effect, that's fine, or for a bit of a joke or for fun, but just be aware that that's how it should be said, and this is not correct. Sometimes a stative verb can be used in both the simple and continuous form, like we have here. the meaning is slightly different, but it means that it can be used between the two. So it's not that you can't change it. So for example, I have lived here for years, meaning it's been a long time. So it's been a long time that I have lived here, okay? But in the continuous form, you can say I have been living here for years, all right? Which is a focus on the duration. So it's been years and it's still happening, okay? But it's absolutely okay to use them in two different forms, okay? Because this is possible and it's okay. So just be aware of that. It's just something to be aware of. Let's have a look at some practice exercises. And so what we've learned so far is put it into practice. I'll read you through it. You have a think about what you put in there, and then we'll write in what the answer is, okay? So, for example, the word is study, French since I was a child. Just remember this, I was a child. I study French since I was a child. What would we put here? Have a think. Yes. So I have been studying. I have been studying French since I was a child. Okay? Excellent. So she lose her keys and can't find them. What do you think we should put here? She lose her keys and can't find them. Exactly. She has lost. Because remember, at the moment she hasn't got them, she can't find them. It happened in the past, this losing or the loss of the keys, and it's something that has happened and finished, but it has a direct result here because she has no keys. Okay, so they, your word is live, in Canada for the past 5 years. Okay, think about it. They live in Canada for the past 5 years. Okay, now you are right. In this case, you can use both. You can say they have lived, and you can say they have been living. Okay, but remember that the meanings are slightly different. So actually, I'm going to direct you up to this one here. So this kind of gives us the answer. So you can say both of them, and they're both, like we discussed, absolutely okay. All right, excellent, good. Okay, the last example. He not work on the project in the last few years. Okay, project in the last few years. So he not work on the project in the last few days. Excuse me, not years, days. What do you think? Yes, of course. It says he has not. He has not worked. He has not worked on the project in the last few days. All right? Excellent. Meaning that actually there has been, in this current time, you're probably wondering why. Why does that work then? Well, it does, because it means the project now is missing some progress. So what's going on? Why is there no work being done? Because he has not worked on the project in the last few days. Okay, so even when you think it might not be relevant, there's always a reason for the use of it with English people and people who speak English. So remember to focus on the result for the simple and the duration for the continuous. That is the key. And also remember that it's always something that happened that is kind of relevant now. There's always an importance now. Now is as important as the event in the past. Okay, so choosing the correct form will work, and with practice it will help. And remember what I said before about the feeling. It'll be great. Don't worry about it. Go across those slides on the I above, click on the link below, and you'll be able to take the test, and you'll be able to go through all that we've been through again today. So until next time, see you later.